11 signs that you should end every relationship, even it is your family or a friend. Stoicism. Have you ever felt that gut-wrenching moment when you realize a relationship or friendship, one that has been a cornerstone of your life, is actually holding you back? It's a painful recognition, isn't it? We've shared laughs, tears, and countless memories with these people, and yet, there comes a time when holding on does more harm than good. Stoicism, with its timeless wisdom, offers a transformative perspective on such modern dilemmas. The Stoics, with their deep understanding of human nature and the pursuit of a fulfilling life, teach us that personal growth often demands making tough choices about who we allow into our inner circle. It's not about cutting people out with cold indifference, but about intentionally curating our lives, choosing relationships that uplift, inspire, and challenge us to be our best selves. So if you're standing at that crossroads, feeling the weight of a decision that could redefine your path, you're not alone. Today, we delve into the heart of Stoic wisdom to uncover the signs that it's time to lovingly release certain ties, making space for new growth, deeper connections, and a life aligned with your highest virtue. Stay with me as we embark on this journey together, guided by the timeless teachings of Stoicism, ready to discover the freedom and peace that come from choosing our relationships with wisdom and courage. 1. Manipulation and control. In any kind of relationship, feeling like a puppet rather than a partner is a serious warning sign. It's time we discuss autonomy, freedom, and the wise words of Epictetus: "No one is free who is not master of himself." Reflect on that for a moment. True freedom, as Epictetus teaches, comes from within. It means being in control of our actions, decisions, and ultimately, our lives. Imagine being in a relationship where every decision feels like it's being made for you, where your desires are overshadowed by someone else's demands. It's suffocating and completely against the principles of Stoicism, which values personal autonomy and inner peace. So what does it mean for us when we find ourselves in relationships where we feel like we're not the ones calling the shots, where our decisions, desires, and even our thoughts seem to be under someone else's control? It's a sign loud and clear that something's not right. Manipulation and control can sneak up on us in various forms. It might be subtle, like constant suggestions that steer you away from your passions, or more overt, like outright demands dictating who you should be or what you should do. These are not the hallmarks of a healthy relationship. A true connection should be a partnership of equals, where both parties have the freedom to express themselves and make their own choices. True connections, the ones that are really worth our time and emotional investment, are built on mutual respect and freedom. Stoicism teaches us about the importance of autonomy, being the master of your own ship, so to speak. If you find yourself in a relationship where you're constantly second-guessing your choices or feeling like your wings are clipped, it's worth asking why. Why stay in a dynamic that stifles your freedom and keeps you from being the author of your own life story? It's crucial to recognize these red flags and take action to protect your autonomy. This craving for more control over your own life is not just a desire but a necessity for your well-being. Here's the thing. Cutting ties with someone who's manipulating or controlling you isn't about being harsh or unkind. It's about honoring your worth, your autonomy, and your right to lead a life that's true to you. It's about taking Epictetus's wisdom to heart and reclaiming your freedom, the freedom to make your own choices, to grow, to live a life aligned with your values. And yes, making the decision to step away from such relationships can be incredibly tough. It might mean letting go of something familiar, or even someone you care deeply about. But remember, Stoicism isn't about taking the easy path, it's about taking the right path. Sometimes the right path is the one that leads us away from what harms us and towards a more authentic, fulfilling existence. True relationships, the ones that genuinely enrich our lives, are those that respect our individuality and freedom. They encourage us to explore, to question, to grow. They don't try to mold us into something we're not, or dictate how we should live our lives. It's about finding those who support us, not control us. Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When you're constantly oppressed by another's control, your thoughts are no longer your own, and thus your happiness is compromised. So if you're feeling like someone's pulling your strings, ask yourself if it's time to cut those strings and embrace the freedom to be authentically you. It's a journey worth taking, a step toward a life where you're in control, surrounded by relationships that uplift and respect your autonomy and freedom. Let's cherish and seek out those connections that empower us, that allow us to be the masters of our own lives. Because at the end of the day, that's what true friendship and love should do: set us free, not hold us back. In modern life, this might mean having difficult conversations, setting boundaries, or even walking away from toxic relationships. Remember, it's not about abandoning people, but about preserving your mental and emotional health. Seek relationships that are like a breath of fresh air, ones that rejuvenate and respect you. As Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Define your own values and standards and don't compromise them for anyone. Life is too short to spend it under someone else's thumb. Embrace your freedom and find those who appreciate you for who you are, not who they want you to be. Lesson 2. A relationship lacking respect. Lack of mutual respect is a deal breaker that cannot be ignored in any relationship. Without respect, there is no foundation for anything positive. Imagine trying to build a house on sand. Eventually, everything will collapse. The Stoics, who emphasized living a virtuous life, placed great importance on self-respect and the respect we owe to others. They believed that every individual possesses inherent worth and dignity, which should be reflected in our treatment of each other. If you find yourself in a relationship where you're not being treated with the dignity you deserve, it's a massive red flag. It's not just about feeling undervalued. It's about recognizing that a fundamental aspect of your humanity is being disregarded. Mutual respect is the cornerstone of any healthy connection. It's the foundation upon which trust, love, and genuine understanding are built. If that's missing, what remains? You're left with a relationship that's hollow, unfulfilling, and not worth your time and emotional investment. You might wonder, but I really care about this person. And that's understandable. Relationships are complicated and feelings are strong. Yet, this is where the wisdom of Stoicism can guide us. The Stoics valued clarity, rationality, and living in alignment with our highest values. They would encourage us to step back and assess our relationships through this lens. Are we being true to ourselves by staying in a situation where we're not respected? Are we honoring our inherent worth and the virtues we strive to live by? If the answer is no, then it might be time for a serious reassessment. This doesn't mean cutting someone out of your life with cold precision. Instead, it's about recognizing your value and making decisions that reflect that. It might mean setting clearer boundaries, having a heart-to-heart conversation about how you're feeling, or, in some cases, acknowledging that it's time to move on. Remember, respecting yourself and insisting on being treated with respect by others is not selfish or demanding. It's a reflection of the self-worth that the Stoics believed each of us should cultivate. It's about living with integrity and ensuring that your relationships reflect the respect and virtue you strive for in your own life. So if you're dealing with a lack of mutual respect, take a moment to reflect on what that means for you and your well-being. Consider how you can address this issue in a way that honors your dignity and values. Because at the end of the day, every one of us deserves to be in relationships where we're treated with the respect and consideration we give in return. Let's strive to cultivate connections that are rooted in mutual respect, where each person is valued and appreciated for who they are. That's the kind of relationship that not only survives but thrives. reflecting the best of what it means to live a life grounded in Stoic wisdom and virtue. So, ask yourself, are you in a relationship where mutual respect is lacking? How can you address this issue to honor your dignity and values? Think about setting boundaries, having honest conversations, and recognizing when it's time to move on. Respecting yourself and insisting on respect from others is key to living a life of integrity and virtue. By fostering relationships rooted in mutual respect, you ensure that your connections are fulfilling and supportive, reflecting the true essence of Stoic wisdom. 3. Bringing many negative emotions. We've all experienced it, being stuck in a relationship filled with negative emotions. Have you ever been in a situation where drama is constant and there's no support? It's really draining, isn't it? Marcus Aurelius had some powerful insights into dealing with our emotions. He famously said that we have control over our minds, not over external events, and realizing this is where our true power lies. This is a game changer when you apply it to relationships filled with jealousy, anger, or any other negative emotion that seems to dominate the landscape. Think about it. If your relationship feels more like a battleground than a safe haven, it's a signal loud and clear that something's got to give. These emotions, while part of the human experience, shouldn't be the foundation or the defining traits of any relationship that's meant to last and bring you peace. Now, I'm not suggesting that we can or should aim to live without ever feeling angry or jealous. That would be like trying to breathe without air. But what Marcus Aurelius teaches us is that we're in the driver's seat when it comes to our reactions to these emotions. If jealousy arises because a friend seems to be moving forward in life while you feel stuck, or if anger bubbles up every time a certain someone undermines you, remember, you control your reaction. You can choose not to let these emotions dictate the terms of your relationship. But what does that look like in practice? It starts with awareness, recognizing when you're feeling these emotions and asking yourself, why am I feeling this way? What can I learn from this? How can I respond in a manner that aligns with the person I aspire to be? These aren't easy questions, but they are essential ones. And sometimes the healthiest reaction is to create distance or make a change. It's not about running away from problems, but acknowledging that if the core of a relationship is more about pulling each other into negative spirals rather than lifting up, it might be time to reassess. This doesn't mean you failed, or that the other person is a villain in your story. It simply recognizes that not every relationship is meant to endure every season of our lives, and that's okay. The Stoics were big on the idea of living in accordance with nature, and sometimes the natural course of things is to grow apart. Take Sarah, for instance, a marketing professional who always felt drained after spending time with her childhood friend, Emily. Emily's constant negativity and criticism left Sarah feeling anxious and unappreciated. After reflecting on her feelings, Sarah realized that this relationship, once a source of joy, had become a source of stress. Inspired by Marcus Aurelius's wisdom, she decided to gradually distance herself and focus on relationships that were more supportive and uplifting. It wasn't easy, but over time, Sarah noticed a significant improvement in her emotional well-being and overall happiness. So, if you find yourself constantly wrestling with negative emotions in any of your relationships, take a moment to reflect on Marcus Aurelius's wisdom. Remember, you have power over your mind, your reactions, and ultimately the choice to surround yourself with relationships that are rooted in positive, supportive energies. It's in these environments that we can truly thrive, grow, and find peace. Let's not let the drama define our relationships. Instead, let's cultivate connections that are based on mutual respect, understanding, and genuine support. Because at the end of the day, those are the relationships that withstand the test of time and bring out the best in us. What relationships in your life might need reassessing? How can you apply the Stoic principles of emotional control and positive environments to improve your interactions and overall well-being? By reflecting on these questions, you can take meaningful steps toward building a life filled with relationships that nurture your growth and happiness. If you've watched up to this point, You're already on the path to mastering the wisdom of Stoicism and making the tough decisions for a better life. Comment below with "True Stoic" to affirm your commitment to these transformative principles. Don't go anywhere. There's still a wealth of insight we want to share with you in this video. Stay until the end to uncover the secrets that will empower you to make the right choices for your relationships. Or, the imbalance between giving and receiving. In the intricate dance of human relationships, there lies an essential principle often overlooked: balance. Picture this: constantly giving, yet rarely receiving, finding yourself drained, unappreciated, and tethered to a one-sided connection. This is not just an unfortunate scenario, it's a profound imbalance that can erode the very foundation of any relationship. Reciprocity, the cornerstone of balanced relationships, involves a mutual exchange of support and effort. It's not just a concept of fairness, but a fundamental requirement for a relationship's health and longevity. However, many of us have experienced the disheartening reality of a one-sided relationship, where we find ourselves perpetually giving, our efforts unreciprocated, leaving us feeling resentful and exhausted. This imbalance doesn't just strain the giver, but also fosters dependency and entitlement in the receiver. When one person continuously assumes the role of the giver while the other remains the taker, it creates a skewed dynamic, destabilizing the relationship's core. The Stoics profoundly understood the essence of relationships, emphasizing the importance of mutual support without compromising one's well-being. They advocated for relationships grounded in harmony and mutual respect, where both parties contribute equally towards each other's growth and the pursuit of a virtuous life. Reflecting on these principles, it's crucial to ask yourself, are you respecting yourself by enduring this imbalance? And are you genuinely helping the other person by enabling their lack of contribution? Addressing this imbalance is not about immediately severing ties, but rather about fostering an environment where both individuals can grow. Begin with open communication, express your needs, and set clear boundaries. Encourage the other person to contribute more significantly, not just in material ways, but emotionally and spiritually. This approach doesn't just rectify the imbalance, but transforms the relationship into a more fulfilling and supportive connection. Relationships constantly change and grow, needing ongoing effort, compromise, and flexibility. However, the key to any strong relationship is balance. Both people should feel appreciated, listened to, and supported, forming a connection built on mutual respect and shared effort. This mutual support is essential for building trust, strengthening bonds, and creating a space where both individuals can flourish. Seeking balance in your relationships is not an act of selfishness, but a necessary step towards maintaining your well-being. It ensures that you are not merely giving, but also receiving the love, respect, and support you deserve. Cultivating relationships that are not just sustainable but truly enriching for both parties is key. Strive for connections where reciprocity is a given, not an exception, aligning with the Stoic ideal of balance and mutual respect. Incorporating these principles into your relationships helps create bonds that uplift and support everyone involved. As Marcus Aurelius aptly put it, the art of living is more like wrestling than dancing, for it requires being prepared to meet and withstand sudden and unexpected attacks. By fostering relationships that embody reciprocity, we build a network of support that can withstand life's challenges. So, reflect on your relationships and ask yourself whether they reflect the balance and mutual respect that Stoicism champions. Let's endeavor to create connections that not only endure, but also enrich our lives, embodying the true essence of meaningful relationships. 5. Requires you to act in ways that go against your values. Compromising your values should never be an option. These principles guide us, serving as our moral compass that directs our decisions, actions, and ultimately our life's path. Now, let's consider a tough question. What happens when a relationship challenges those values, asking you to compromise on what you hold dear. It's a difficult situation that demands our attention, and Stoicism provides invaluable insights on this matter. The Stoics would argue that compromising our core values for the sake of a relationship is too high a price to pay. Why? Because our values are the essence of who we are. They shape our identity, influence our choices, and dictate how we interact with the world. To compromise on these is to lose a part of ourselves, and that's a loss no relationship is worth. Being in a relationship that requires you to act in ways that contradict your values, maybe it's small things at first, but over time, these compromises start to add up, eroding your sense of self and the principles you live by. This isn't just about making sacrifices or compromises, which are normal parts of any healthy relationship. It's about betraying the very core of your being. The Stoics teach us that integrity and virtue are not just lofty ideals, but practical guides for living a good life. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca all emphasized the importance of staying true to oneself, of living in alignment with one's values, no matter the external pressures or temptations. This alignment is what gives our lives meaning, direction, and a sense of purpose. So if you find yourself in a situation where a relationship demands that you betray your values, it's a clear signal to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, is this relationship serving my highest good? Is it allowing me to grow and thrive, or is it holding me back, asking me to be someone I'm not? It's not an easy situation to navigate, especially when emotions are involved. But here's where the Stoic practice of self-reflection and rational analysis can be your ally. By stepping back and assessing the relationship through the lens of your values, you can make decisions that are not only right for you, but also honor the person you strive to be. Remember, walking away from a relationship that compromises your values isn't a sign of failure. It's a courageous act of self-respect. It's a declaration that you value yourself enough to only accept relationships that uplift you, respect you, and align with the essence of who you are. Let's challenge ourselves to live with the integrity and virtue the Stoics admired so much. Let's ensure that our relationships reflect and respect our values, not undermine them. Because, at the end of the day, it's our adherence to these values that defines us, guides us through life's ups and downs, and leads us to true fulfillment. Consider this quote from Epictetus: "No man is free who is not master of himself." This speaks to the importance of self-control and staying true to one's values. Reflect on your relationships. Are they helping you master yourself, or are they leading you astray? Embrace the wisdom of the Stoics. Keep your values close, cherish them, and never compromise on them for anyone or anything. By doing so, you'll not only honor the wisdom of the Stoics, but also pave the way for relationships that are genuine, meaningful, and truly enriching. 6. When a relationship starts to do more harm than good. When a relationship starts to do more harm than good, it's crucial to recognize the signs and take action. If you find yourself feeling drained instead of energized, stressed instead of supported, or constantly walking on eggshells, it's a red flag that something is seriously off. Healthy relationships, the kind we all deserve, are meant to enrich our lives, bring us joy, and support us through life's ups and downs. They shouldn't add constant stress or make us question our worth. The Stoics believed in living in harmony with nature and pursuing a life of virtue and tranquility. They emphasized maintaining relationships that align with these principles. So, if you find yourself in a relationship that's pulling you away from peace and from being your best self, it's worth considering what the Stoics might advise. They'd likely encourage us to take a step back and examine the situation objectively. Is this relationship contributing to your well-being and helping you grow as a person? Or is it a source of constant negativity, draining your energy and leaving you feeling worse? If it's the latter, it might be time to question whether this connection truly serves your highest good. Remember, Stoicism teaches us the value of self-awareness and the courage to make difficult decisions that align with our well-being and virtues. It's not about being cold or unfeeling. It's about recognizing what's truly beneficial for us in the long run. Sometimes that means making the tough choice to distance ourselves from relationships that do more harm than good. This doesn't mean that every rough patch indicates a toxic relationship that should be ended. But if you consistently feel worse because of someone's presence in your life, it's a sign that something needs to change. Healthy relationships might have their challenges, but at their core, they're sources of support, love, and mutual growth. Imagine you're in a garden tending to different plants. Some plants flourish and add beauty and fragrance to the garden, while others seem to wilt and take up space without contributing. Just as a gardener needs to prune the plants that don't thrive, we need to assess our relationships and make sure they're contributing positively to our lives. If you're nodding along, feeling like this resonates with your current situation, take a moment to reflect on what steps you can take to address the issues at hand. Communication is key. Perhaps it's time for an honest, open conversation about how you're feeling. If things don't change, remember, it's okay to prioritize your peace and well-being. The Stoics would remind us that our responsibility to ourselves includes nurturing relationships that are healthy and letting go of those that aren't. By seeking out and cultivating connections that add to our lives rather than complicate them, we commit to a life of joy, growth, and tranquility. Because at the end of the day, we all deserve relationships that bring us happiness and support our growth. Through facing these challenges and making tough decisions, we grow stronger and more aligned with our true selves. That's the Stoic way, embracing what serves us and having the wisdom to let go of what doesn't. Consider a story of a person who realized their friendship was more draining than uplifting. This friend constantly brought negativity and criticism into their life, leaving them feeling inadequate. After much reflection and a difficult conversation, they decided to distance themselves from this friend. Initially, it was painful, but over time, they found peace and happiness, realizing they had more energy to invest in relationships that truly mattered. This story is a modern reflection of Stoic wisdom. Sometimes, to protect our well-being and grow, we need to let go of what harms us. In conclusion, the lesson here is clear. Prioritize relationships that nurture and support you. If a relationship consistently brings you down, it may be time to reevaluate its place in your life. Seek connections that enrich your life, and don't be afraid to make the tough decisions to protect your peace. This approach aligns with Stoic principles and leads to a more fulfilling and harmonious life. 7. The relationship that is hindering your growth. Have you ever felt stunted in your personal growth because someone close to you isn't supporting you? Or even worse, they're actively hindering your progress? It's a difficult and uncomfortable realization, but it's crucial to recognize. Reflecting on this, let's dive into the wisdom of Seneca, who emphasized the significance of personal growth and self-improvement. He believed that to lead a fulfilling life, we must constantly evolve, learn, and push our boundaries. In the context of relationships, this means that if a relationship, be it with a friend, family member, or partner, impedes your growth, it's a clear red flag that shouldn't be ignored. Think of relationships as either wings that help you soar or weights that drag you down. A supportive relationship encourages you, celebrates your successes, and helps you navigate failures. It's important to understand that not every relationship has to challenge you intensely or achieve extraordinary goals. However, those who truly care about you should want to see you succeed. They should support and uplift you, not hold you back with doubts and regrets. Consider the words of Epictetus. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. This quote encapsulates the essence of choosing relationships wisely. If you're consistently feeling stifled and unable to progress, it's vital to introspect. Ask yourself, why am I holding on to this relationship? Is it due to habit, fear, or misplaced loyalty? These are challenging questions but necessary ones because the truth is, authentic connections should elevate you. They should inspire you to be better today than you were yesterday. Stoicism underscores the importance of surrounding yourself with individuals who contribute positively to your life. This philosophy is not about having a large circle of friends or being universally liked. It's about curating a network that enriches your existence, fosters your growth, and aligns with your values. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." The quality of your relationships directly influences your thoughts and, by extension, your happiness and growth. If you find that a relationship feels more like a quicksand than a launching pad, it might be time to reconsider its place in your life. It's not selfish to prioritize your growth. It's a natural part of being human. Sometimes, personal growth necessitates letting go of those who hold us back. This isn't about bitterness, but rather about gratitude for the lessons learned and the strength gained from knowing when to let go. Imagine the journey of self-improvement as a trek through uncharted territory. You need the right companions to make the journey worthwhile. Surround yourself with people who encourage your aspirations, challenge your limitations, and celebrate your victories. This conscious choice can transform your life, leading to deeper fulfillment and continuous personal growth. In conclusion, reflect deeply on your relationships. Are they bridges to your best self or barriers to your progress? The journey of self-improvement is enhanced by the right companions. As you navigate through life, remember Seneca's wisdom and seek relationships that foster your growth, supporting you in becoming the best version of yourself. The right people will uplift you, making the arduous journey of self-improvement not just bearable, but profoundly rewarding. If you've made it this far, you're a true seeker of wisdom. Drop a comment saying, "I choose my peace," to show you're dedicated to embracing Stoicism and making the tough choices for a better life. Stick around. The best is yet to come. 8. Abuse. Addressing the topic of abuse is difficult but absolutely necessary. Whether physical, emotional, verbal, or psychological, abuse is a blatant indication that it's time to end the relationship. Stoicism, a philosophy rooted in principles of dignity, self-respect, and the value of the human spirit, firmly condemns any form of abuse. Such behavior not only contravenes the Stoic principles of mutual respect, but also erodes the trust and safety that relationships should be built upon. Stoicism emphasizes recognizing our inherent worth and insists on maintaining our dignity and self-respect. These are not just abstract ideals. They are practical guidelines intended to steer our actions and choices, particularly in adversity. When these fundamental principles are violated, Stoicism encourages us to act, not out of vengeance or anger, but out of respect for ourselves and the intrinsic value of our well-being. Abuse tramples on dignity and self-respect, seeking to diminish the victim's sense of self, control them, and instill fear. This is the antithesis of Stoic values. The Stoic response to such a situation is unequivocal. Seeking help and exiting the relationship is not just important, it's imperative. This step aligns with the Stoic commitment to living a virtuous and dignified life, respecting the inherent worth of every individual, starting with oneself. Exiting an abusive relationship is one of the most challenging decisions one might face. It requires immense courage, strength, and often support from others. Here, the Stoic practice of seeking wisdom from those who have faced similar challenges or from professionals who can offer guidance and support is invaluable. Seeking help, whether from friends, family, or professional services, is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It's an affirmation of one's worth and a commitment to living a life free from harm. Stoicism doesn't just advocate for exiting abusive situations. It also emphasizes healing and reclaiming dignity and self-respect after such experiences. While we may not control others' actions, we control how we respond and move forward. The journey of healing from abuse is a Stoic journey, about reasserting control over one's inner world, reaffirming values, and rebuilding life in alignment with those values. Consider a modern scenario. A person trapped in an emotionally abusive relationship with a partner who constantly belittles and manipulates them. Despite their achievements and efforts, they feel worthless and trapped. Recognizing this abuse is the first step. Seeking help from trusted friends or a counselor, they gather the courage to leave. This decision, though difficult, is a profound act of self-respect. It reflects the Stoic principle that one's dignity and well-being must be protected and cherished. Now think about your situation. Are there relationships in your life where your dignity and self-respect are compromised? How can you take steps to address and improve these situations? Engaging with these questions can lead to significant personal growth and understanding. Let's be clear. If you're facing abuse, know it's not your fault, and you're not alone. Reaching out for help, leaning on the support of those who care for you, and taking steps to leave the abusive situation are actions that reflect the highest respect for yourself. They are steps towards a life where your dignity, self-respect, and well-being are prioritized, as they should be. In the spirit of Stoicism, remember the importance of valuing yourself, respecting your inherent worth, and taking decisive action to remove yourself from harmful situations. Stand firm in your commitment to dignity, self-respect, and the pursuit of a life that is not just free from abuse, but rich in virtue and meaning. This commitment is not just about survival, it's about thriving and reclaiming the full potential of your life. 9. Feeling tethered to illusions rather than reality. Feeling tethered to illusions rather than reality can be one of the most profound signs that a relationship, even one with family or friends, may need to end. At the core of Stoicism is the principle of acceptance, embracing the reality of our lives and our relationships as they truly are, not as we wish them to be. The Stoics, with their practical and grounded approach to life, teach us that true strength and freedom come from seeing things clearly, without the distortions that illusions can create. When we examine our relationships through a Stoic lens, it means taking a hard, honest look at them and questioning whether they are based on reality or on a fantasy we've created. Are we overlooking significant issues, ignoring red flags, or idealizing someone to the point where they no longer resemble their true selves? If so, we are not only deceiving ourselves, but also hindering the possibility of genuine connection and growth. Being tied to illusions in a relationship is akin to chasing a mirage. It appears perfect from afar, but up close, it lacks substance and truth. This does not mean that hope and aspirations have no place in our relationships. They certainly do. However, there is a delicate balance between having healthy aspirations and losing ourselves in fantasies that prevent us from engaging with the true nature of our connections. Embracing the truth, as the Stoics would advocate, involves confronting these illusions head-on. It requires the courage to see and accept our relationships for what they really are, even when this truth is uncomfortable or painful. The task of embracing reality over illusion is challenging. It demands a level of honesty and vulnerability that many find daunting. Yet there is immense power in truth. It forms the foundation upon which authentic and meaningful relationships are built. The journey of facing reality can be transformative. It might mean recognizing that a relationship is not what you thought it was, or accepting that the person you are with is not who you hoped they would be. This realization, though difficult, is a crucial step toward genuine growth and emotional freedom. It clears the way for relationships that are authentic, allowing you to love and be loved for who you truly are, not for the illusions you've created. So, if you find yourself feeling tethered to illusions, take a moment to reflect. Consider the aspects of your relationship that are real and those you have embellished or imagined. How does this alignment, or lack thereof, with reality affect your happiness and well-being? Remember, Stoicism is not about pessimism or resigning yourself to unhappiness. Quite the opposite. It is about finding peace and contentment by aligning yourself with the truth of how things are. It teaches us that by accepting reality, we can navigate our lives and relationships with wisdom, clarity, and a sense of groundedness that illusions cannot provide. Let us challenge ourselves to view our relationships through the lens of Stoic acceptance. By embracing the truth, however difficult it may be, we open ourselves to genuine, fulfilling connections that enrich our lives in profound ways. After all, in the clarity of truth, we find the path to real happiness and love. As Epictetus wisely noted, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. How can you apply this Stoic wisdom to your relationships today? What steps can you take to see your connections as they truly are, rather than how you wish them to be? In doing so, you may find that the path to true contentment and meaningful relationships is closer than you think. 10. Constantly disturbing your inner calm. In the journey of life, our relationships can be a source of immense joy and support, but they can also be the storm that disrupts our inner calm. Have you ever felt that certain connections, instead of uplifting you, leave you feeling constantly unsettled and drained? Imagine a relationship that instead of providing peace and comfort, feels like a relentless storm, constantly disturbing your inner calm. It's challenging, isn't it? When the very connections meant to enrich our lives end up costing us our peace of mind, it's a clear signal to pause and reflect on the role such relationships play in our lives. Stoicism, a philosophy that has endured for centuries, places immense value on tranquility, teaching us to cultivate an inner calm that remains undisturbed by external circumstances. The Stoics believed that peace of mind is not just a precious asset, but essential for living a good life. They taught that we should strive to maintain our equanimity amidst life's ups and downs, including navigating our relationships with wisdom and discernment. So, what do we do when a relationship consistently disrupts our tranquility? First and foremost, Stoicism encourages us to take a step back and examine the situation objectively. Ask yourself, why does this relationship disturb my peace? Is it the behavior of the other person, unresolved conflicts, or perhaps my own reactions and expectations at fault? This process of self-examination is crucial because it moves us from a place of emotional reaction to one of rational response. Once we've identified the source of the disturbance, the next step is to consider what can be changed. Can the issues be addressed through open and honest communication? Are there boundaries that need to be set or reinforced? Remember, Stoicism doesn't advocate for passive acceptance of all situations. While it teaches us to accept the things we cannot change, it also encourages us to take action where we can make a positive difference. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." If, after careful consideration and effort, the relationship continues to be a source of turmoil, it may be time to question its place in your life. This isn't about giving up at the first sign of trouble or conflict. It's about recognizing when a relationship is fundamentally misaligned with your values and your pursuit of tranquility. The decision to distance oneself from a relationship that disturbs your peace is not to be taken lightly. It requires courage, honesty, and sometimes a willingness to let go for the sake of your well-being. Epictetus reminds us, "It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them." By reevaluating and adjusting our relationships, we take control of our judgments and, consequently, our peace. However, the Stoic goal is not to eliminate all sources of discomfort in our lives, but to cultivate an inner resilience that allows us to face challenges with equanimity. In the end, the relationships we choose to maintain should support our pursuit of tranquility, not undermine it. They should be sources of strength, growth, and joy, not constant unrest. So if you find yourself consistently disturbed by a relationship, consider it an opportunity to practice Stoic wisdom. Reflect, evaluate, and choose the path that leads to peace. Surrounding ourselves with people who contribute to our tranquility rather than detract from it is crucial. In doing so, we honor not just the Stoic teachings, but also our own journey towards a life of peace, purpose, and profound fulfillment. As Seneca said, associate with people who are likely to improve you. By following this guidance, we can ensure that our relationships are aligned with our values and contribute positively to our lives. Remember, the essence of Stoicism lies in our ability to maintain inner calm, regardless of external turmoil. By applying these principles, we not only enhance our well-being, but also empower ourselves to live a more meaningful and tranquil life. Let's strive to build and nurture relationships that reflect the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, and in doing so, create a life filled with peace and purpose. 11. Failed communication can be a tough hurdle. When communication within a relationship fails, it can feel like you're hitting a wall every time you try to talk things out. It's more than just a minor inconvenience. It's a clear indication of deeper issues that need addressing. So, what happens when you're constantly misinterpreting each other and finding common ground seems impossible? Stoicism, with its timeless wisdom, offers guidance here. Effective communication is the lifeblood of any thriving relationship. It's how we express our needs, share our thoughts, and connect on a meaningful level. Without it, we're essentially stumbling in the dark, often misunderstanding the other person's thoughts and feelings. The Stoics, known for their pursuit of virtue and wisdom, emphasized the importance of clear, honest communication. They practiced it diligently and encouraged it in their teachings, highlighting the need for listening, understanding, and responding with empathy and wisdom. So what should we do when communication breaks down? First, recognize that failed communication often signals deeper issues. It might stem from a lack of trust, unresolved resentments, or simply different communication styles. Stoicism teaches us to approach these problems with a clear head and a willing heart. It encourages us to look inward, examine our role in the communication breakdown, and strive for clarity and honesty in our interactions. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, advocated for using reason and logic to navigate life's challenges. He would suggest applying these same tools to communication issues, taking a step back, removing emotions from the equation, and analyzing the situation objectively. Where is the communication failing? Why? What steps can be taken to improve it? Improving communication requires effort from all involved. It's about creating a safe space where each person feels heard and valued. Active listening is key, not just waiting for your turn to speak, but truly understanding the other person's perspective. It's about expressing yourself clearly and respectfully, avoiding accusations or assumptions. And perhaps most importantly, it's about having the patience and persistence to keep trying, even when progress seems slow. Stoicism also reminds us of the importance of empathy and compassion in our communications. Remember, everyone has their struggles, fears, and insecurities. Sometimes, what appears as hostility or indifference is actually a defense mechanism. By approaching our communications with empathy, we open the door to deeper understanding and connection. Failed communication doesn't have to spell the end of a relationship. Instead, it can be an opportunity for growth for both individuals and the relationship itself. It's a chance to learn more about each other, develop better communication skills, and build a stronger, more resilient bond. If you find yourself facing communication challenges, take a moment to reflect on the Stoic principles of clarity, honesty, and empathy. Use these as your guide to navigate through the issues. And remember, the goal isn't just to talk more, but to communicate better. In the richness of effective communication, we find the true essence of connection and understanding, the very foundations upon which meaningful relationships are built. Ask yourself, are you truly listening to understand or just waiting for your turn to speak? How can you create a space where both parties feel heard and respected? Reflect on these questions and consider the Stoic wisdom of approaching communication with clarity and empathy. By doing so, you not only improve your relationships, but also cultivate a deeper sense of connection and understanding, building relationships that are not only resilient, but also enriching and fulfilling. Thank you for joining today's video on the 11 signs that you should end every relationship, even if it's with family or friends, through the lens of Stoicism. Your presence and participation in our community mean a lot to us. Feel free to share your thoughts or simply comment, "I am a newbie" if you're new, or "I am a Stoic" if you've been with us for a while. Your interaction is a tremendous source of motivation for us. Let's continue this journey of wisdom and growth together, shall we? How to build quality relationships. Embarking on the journey to build quality relationships can be transformative, enriching not only our personal lives but also our professional ones. As the ancient Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely said, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." Let's strip away the fears and misconceptions about relationships and focus on the bedrock principles that can help us forge lasting connections. Lesson 1. Understanding the foundation of relationships. Building quality relationships begins with a deep understanding of their foundational elements: trust, respect, and mutual understanding. These three pillars form the bedrock upon which any meaningful connection is built. Trust, the cornerstone of any relationship, is cultivated through consistent actions and reliability. Being dependable, showing up when you say you will, and being a person of your word are crucial in establishing trust. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This aligns perfectly with the concept of trust. Actions speak louder than words. Respect, another critical pillar, involves recognizing and appreciating the intrinsic value of another person. It's about honoring their thoughts, feelings, and boundaries. Respect is demonstrated through genuine consideration and acknowledgement of another's worth. As the famous saying goes, respect is earned, not given. This principle underscores the importance of consistently showing regard for others to foster a respectful relationship. Mutual understanding is achieved through effective communication and active listening. It's not just about talking, but about truly hearing and validating the other person's perspective. As Epictetus advised, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Active listening involves paying full attention, asking clarifying questions, and reflecting back what you've heard to ensure both parties feel understood and valued. To nurture these foundational elements, practicing empathy is essential. Empathy involves putting oneself in another's shoes and striving to understand their perspective deeply. This approach not only strengthens the bond between individuals, but also fosters a sense of security and belonging. Empathy bridges gaps and builds a strong emotional connection. As the modern world becomes increasingly digital and fast-paced, these timeless principles become even more critical. Empathy allows us to slow down and truly connect with others on a human level, ensuring our relationships are not just surface-level interactions, but deep, meaningful connections. At the end of the day, a relationship built on trust, respect, and mutual understanding, fortified by empathy and effective communication, can withstand the tests of time and adversity. This foundation creates a lasting and meaningful connection that enriches our lives. As we navigate our personal and professional lives, integrating these principles can lead to more fulfilling and resilient relationships. Remember the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca: "A gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver or doer." Let your intention in building relationships be rooted in these fundamental values: and you will find that your connections are stronger and more enduring. By understanding and applying these principles, we can cultivate relationships that not only enhance our lives but also provide a solid support system through the inevitable ups and downs. In today's world, where genuine connections can sometimes feel elusive, these timeless lessons from both ancient philosophy and modern psychology can guide us towards building the quality relationships we all desire. Lesson 2: The power of vulnerability. Let's talk about something that many people misunderstand: vulnerability. In the realm of relationships, vulnerability is not a weakness. It's actually one of the greatest strengths you can bring to the table. Being vulnerable means opening up about your feelings, fears, and imperfections. It's about showing your true self, which in turn creates a space for genuine connection. When you share openly and honestly, you invite the other person to do the same, fostering a mutual sense of trust and intimacy that makes your relationship more authentic and resilient. Consider this. Have you ever had a conversation with someone where you felt you could be completely yourself? Maybe you shared a fear or a flaw, and instead of judgment, you were met with understanding and compassion. This is the power of vulnerability in action. It builds a bridge between you and the other person, one that is strong enough to withstand challenges and deep enough to support a meaningful connection. Approaching vulnerability requires courage. It's not easy to open up and risk rejection or misunderstanding, but it's also about creating a safe environment where both you and the other person feel supported and non-judgmental. Imagine a friendship where both parties are guarded and only share the surface-level details of their lives. That relationship would lack depth and true understanding. Now, contrast that with a friendship where both people feel safe to share their deepest thoughts and fears. That's where real intimacy and trust are born. In today's fast-paced world, where social media often portrays a polished version of reality, embracing vulnerability can feel counterintuitive. Yet it's in those moments of raw honesty that we connect on a deeper level. Think about the last time you saw a post where someone shared a real struggle or a heartfelt moment. Chances are, it resonated with you much more than the perfect vacation photo or the curated highlight reel. That's because authenticity speaks to our shared humanity. Here's a story to illustrate this point. John and Maria had been colleagues for years, exchanging pleasantries and small talk in the office. One day, Maria confided in John about a personal challenge she was facing. She had been hesitant at first, worried about appearing weak or unprofessional. But, to her surprise, John responded with empathy and shared his own similar experience. This exchange not only deepened their professional relationship, but also sparked a genuine friendship. They found that by being open and vulnerable, they could support each other in ways they hadn't thought possible. As you reflect on your own relationships, ask yourself, are you willing to be vulnerable? What are the barriers that prevent you from opening up? By answering these questions, you can start to break down those barriers and build stronger, more authentic connections. In conclusion, the lesson here is clear. Embrace vulnerability with courage and create a safe space for others to do the same. This mutual openness will deepen the bond and authenticity of your relationships, making them more resilient and fulfilling. So, take that first step. Share your true self and invite others to do the same. You might be surprised at how powerful and transformative vulnerability can be. Lesson 3: The importance of boundaries. Establishing and respecting boundaries is crucial for maintaining healthy relationships because boundaries define the limits of acceptable behavior and help protect each person's personal space and emotional well-being. When we clearly communicate our needs and limits, and reciprocally understand and honor those of others, we lay the groundwork for a relationship that is both safe and mutually respectful. This practice is a safeguard against misunderstandings and conflicts, fostering a more harmonious and balanced connection. Boundaries are not rigid walls, but flexible guidelines that ensure both parties feel valued and heard. In this sense, Setting boundaries is not just about protecting oneself, but about nurturing the relationship as a whole. As relationships evolve, it's essential to revisit and adjust these boundaries to ensure they remain relevant and effective. This ongoing dialogue helps adapt to new circumstances and deepens mutual respect and understanding. A relationship without boundaries can quickly become chaotic, as each person may inadvertently overstep and cause harm. Conversely, clear boundaries promote a respectful and harmonious interaction, where each person knows their limits and respects the other's space. The lesson here is profound. Boundaries are not merely protective measures, but foundational elements that enhance the quality of our relationships, ensuring they are built on mutual respect and understanding. Consider the wisdom of Epictetus, who said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." In the context of relationships, mastering oneself involves knowing one's limits and communicating them effectively. By doing so, we not only protect our own well-being, but also show our partners that we respect them enough to set and honor these boundaries. This mutual respect forms the bedrock of any healthy relationship, creating an environment where both parties feel secure and valued. In modern life, where boundaries are often blurred by the constant demands of work, social media, and personal relationships, the importance of clearly defined limits cannot be overstated. For example, consider the work-life balance. Without setting boundaries, one can easily find themselves overwhelmed, leading to burnout and strained personal relationships. By clearly delineating when work ends and personal time begins, individuals can protect their mental health and maintain the quality of their relationships. Furthermore, boundaries are essential in digital communication. With the rise of instant messaging and social media, the lines between personal and professional interactions can easily blur. Setting boundaries about response times and availability can prevent misunderstandings and ensure that digital interactions remain respectful and productive. In conclusion, establishing and respecting boundaries is fundamental to building and maintaining quality relationships. It involves clear communication, ongoing adjustment, and a mutual understanding that these limits are in place to protect and enhance the relationship. By embracing this practice, we create a foundation of respect and harmony, enabling our relationships to flourish. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, the wisdom of Stoic philosophers reminds us that mastering our own boundaries is key to achieving balance and fulfillment in our interactions with others. So, take control of your relationships by setting clear boundaries and watch them grow stronger and more resilient. If you've watched up to this point, you're already on the path to building quality relationships that enrich your life. Comment below with "quality connection" to affirm your commitment to mastering these transformative techniques. Don't go anywhere. There's still a wealth of knowledge we want to share with you in this video. Stay until the end to uncover the secrets that will make your relationships truly meaningful. Lesson 4. Handling conflict with grace. Conflict is a natural part of any relationship, but the way you handle it can significantly impact the quality and longevity of your connection. Handling conflict with grace requires a calm and open-minded approach, where you seek to understand the other person's perspective before reacting. This means listening actively, acknowledging their feelings, and refraining from immediate judgment or blame. By prioritizing understanding over being understood, you create a space for meaningful dialogue and resolution. To effectively manage conflicts, it's crucial to focus on finding solutions that satisfy both parties rather than assigning blame. Ask yourself, how can we turn this disagreement into an opportunity for growth and mutual understanding? By framing the conflict in a positive light, you encourage cooperation and compromise. Good communication is the cornerstone of conflict resolution. It involves expressing your thoughts and feelings clearly and respectfully, while being open to feedback. Empathy plays a vital role here. Try to put yourself in the other person's shoes to genuinely understand their viewpoint. Have you ever noticed how unresolved issues tend to fester and grow over time? Addressing conflicts promptly and respectfully can prevent them from escalating into larger problems. When both parties feel heard and valued, it becomes easier to reach a mutually beneficial solution. This approach not only resolves the immediate issue, but also strengthens the bond and resilience of your relationship. As Mahatma Gandhi said, "The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong." Embracing forgiveness and letting go of grudges is essential for maintaining harmony. Conflict can be an opportunity for learning and development. By handling disagreements gracefully, you can uncover deeper insights about yourself and your partner. Consider this. What can this conflict teach us about our communication styles, values, or expectations? Reflecting on such questions can lead to a deeper understanding and appreciation of each other. It's also important to remember that every conflict has the potential to bring you closer together if handled with care and respect. In every relationship, whether personal or professional, conflicts are bound to arise. The key is not to avoid them, but to approach them with a mindset of growth and collaboration. How do you typically respond to conflict? Do you see it as a threat or as an opportunity? Shifting your perspective can make a significant difference in how you handle disagreements. By choosing to approach conflicts with grace, you not only resolve issues more effectively, but also build a foundation of trust and respect. To sum up, handling conflict with grace is about maintaining a calm and open mind, focusing on solutions rather than blame, and fostering good communication and empathy. It's about addressing issues promptly and respectfully to prevent long-term damage and to strengthen the bond and resilience of your relationships. Lesson 5. The role of gratitude. Gratitude is an essential cornerstone in building and maintaining quality relationships. When you express genuine appreciation for others, you acknowledge their efforts and contributions, creating a positive and supportive dynamic. Consider how a simple "thank you" can light up someone's day, encouraging them to continue their good deeds and feel more connected to you. This act of appreciation fosters reciprocation, meaning the other person is more likely to show gratitude in return, which strengthens your bond and promotes a sense of mutual satisfaction and happiness. Imagine you have a friend who always goes out of their way to help you with your projects. When you take a moment to thank them sincerely, perhaps with a heartfelt message or a small token of appreciation, you show that their efforts don't go unnoticed. This not only makes your friend feel valued, but also reinforces the importance of their role in your life. Over time, these small acts of gratitude can accumulate, creating a deep and fulfilling connection between you. It's crucial to regularly express gratitude, not just through words but also through actions. For instance, if your partner always makes dinner, show your appreciation by planning a special evening for them or taking over the cooking once in a while. These gestures go a long way in making the other person feel appreciated and valued. By focusing on the positive aspects of your relationship and acknowledging each other's contributions, you create a nurturing environment where both parties can thrive. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to take people for granted, especially those who are always there for us. However, by making a conscious effort to express gratitude, we can significantly enhance the quality of our relationships. Think about your interactions with colleagues at work. A simple "thank you" for a job well done, or recognition of someone's hard work during a meeting, can boost morale and foster a supportive team dynamic. When people feel appreciated, they are more likely to go above and beyond, contributing to a positive and productive work environment. Consider the story of Emma, a young professional who was feeling overwhelmed with her workload. Her colleague, Mark, noticed her struggle and offered to help her with a project. Emma was grateful for his assistance and made sure to thank him personally and during a team meeting. She also treated him to lunch as a token of her appreciation. This gesture not only strengthened their professional relationship, but also created a supportive and collaborative atmosphere within their team. By acknowledging Mark's help, Emma encouraged a culture of gratitude and support in their workplace. How often do you take the time to thank the people who make your life easier? Reflect on the relationships in your life and consider where you can show more appreciation. Whether it's your family, friends, colleagues, or even strangers who perform small acts of kindness, expressing gratitude can transform your interactions and deepen your connections. In conclusion, regularly expressing gratitude strengthens your bonds, promotes positivity, and fosters a supportive relationship dynamic. It reminds us to focus on the good in others and appreciate their efforts, leading to more fulfilling and meaningful relationships. The next time someone does something kind for you, take a moment to thank them sincerely. You'll find that this small act of appreciation can make a significant difference in your relationship, bringing you closer and creating a lasting sense of mutual respect and happiness. Lesson 6. The Art of Communication. Building quality relationships hinges on mastering the art of communication, a vital skill that goes beyond mere words. Effective communication is not just about speaking. It involves a balanced blend of listening, understanding, and thoughtfully responding. Think about the last meaningful conversation you had. What made it impactful? Chances are, it wasn't just about what was said, but how it was said and the attention given to understanding each other. As Stephen R. Covey wisely noted, most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. This quote perfectly encapsulates the essence of active listening, a cornerstone of effective communication. Active listening requires you to be fully present, focusing entirely on the speaker without interruptions, demonstrating respect and genuine interest in their thoughts and feelings. When you actively listen, you show that you value the other person, which in turn fosters a deeper connection. But listening is just one side of the coin. Expressing your own thoughts and feelings with clarity is equally crucial. Have you ever experienced a situation where a misunderstanding led to conflict? Clear expression helps prevent such misunderstandings, ensuring that both parties are on the same page. How do you ensure your message is clear? Consider the words of George Bernard Shaw. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. This reminds us that effective communication involves confirming that the message sent is the message received. Beyond words, nonverbal cues like body language, eye contact, and tone of voice significantly influence our interactions. Nonverbal signals can convey sincerity, empathy, and openness, sometimes speaking louder than words. For instance, maintaining eye contact shows that you are engaged and interested, while an open posture can signal receptivity and warmth. Reflect on your own experiences. How often have nonverbal cues shaped your perception of a conversation? By prioritizing clear and compassionate communication, you lay the groundwork for relationships that are not just functional, but meaningful and fulfilling. Think about a time when effective communication strengthened a relationship in your life. What was the key factor? It likely involved a combination of active listening, clear expression, and mindful nonverbal communication. These elements, when practiced consistently, transform the way we connect with others. So how can you apply these principles to improve your relationships today? Start by practicing active listening in your next conversation. Focus entirely on the speaker, resist the urge to interrupt, and reflect back what you hear. Pay attention to your non-verbal cues. Are they aligned with your words? Ensure your expressions match the sincerity of your message. Remember, effective communication is a skill that can always be refined. As you embark on this journey, keep in mind the words of Epictetus. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. In summary, the art of communication is fundamental to building and maintaining quality relationships. By embracing active listening, expressing yourself clearly, and being mindful of nonverbal cues, you create a foundation of trust and understanding. These practices not only enhance your interactions, but also enrich your connections, leading to more fulfilling and enduring relationships. What steps will you take today to become a better communicator? The journey of mastering communication is ongoing, but with each effort, you move closer to forging deeper and more meaningful connections. In conclusion, navigating relationships with the wisdom of Stoicism can profoundly impact our lives. Understanding when to let go of relationships that hinder our growth or disturb our inner peace is crucial for personal development. The Stoic principles of autonomy, respect, emotional control, and acceptance guide us in making these difficult decisions. Recognizing the signs of manipulation, lack of respect, negative emotions, and other toxic behaviors allows us to protect our well-being and prioritize relationships that align with our values. By embracing Stoic teachings, we can build and maintain connections that enrich our lives, foster mutual respect, and support our pursuit of a virtuous and fulfilling existence. As you reflect on your relationships, consider the lessons shared here. Seek out connections that uplift and support you, and have the courage to distance yourself from those that do more harm than good. Remember, it's not about abandoning people, but about honoring your worth and creating a life filled with meaningful and positive relationships. By following the Stoic path, you can cultivate a network of support that encourages your growth and brings you closer to living in harmony with your true self. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Stoic in Your Life. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss our upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.